Hey everyone, this is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. I have a commentary and recap on Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 5, episode 7. It was called Don't Call It a Comeback. You guys, in this episode, the original 6 came together to hash things out. And when I tell you that Tisha thought Marsu was on her side, right up until the moment he wasn't. You guys, it was bad. I'm going to tell y'all all about it. But before I do, hit your like, subscribe, and your notification bell. That will help others find this video. And as always, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. So let's get started. So the scene opens up with Miss Melody. She's taking pictures of her skincare line, and she invited Stormy Steele, the quote-unquote marketing guru, to assist her. She said that she knows everything about it. Stormy comes in, gives her a little advice. They talk a little business, and then Stormy says that she invited Destiny to her warehouse so that they can come to a resolution. However, she doesn't see herself wanting to be Destiny's friend. She did say that she didn't like the fact that she had came to Destiny's shop with gifts, and Destiny gave her the cold shoulder, basically holding a grudge over a beef that they didn't even have for real. In confessional, Melody said that she thought Destiny and Stormy meeting was great and that she was always an advocate for them burying the hatchet. Then Stormy also shares that she met with Tiffany, basically to do the same thing, just to make sure that they were good, because she didn't like the way things had ended after they had drinks. But she also shared with her that Destiny told Tiffany Melody was responsible for the fight. Stormy let Tiffany know what really happened, and Melody and Stormy agree that it was Wanda who took it to another level. Melody said that it doesn't surprise her that Destiny feels that way now that they're not talking, and that Destiny's perception is off. She also said that right now everyone is accusing her of having beef with everybody because she's at home minding her own damn business. Then she told Stormy that her and Martell are going to get the original 6 back together so that they can talk things out, because in their entire time of knowing each other, Marsu, Martell, and Maurice have never came to blows before. Then Stormy said that she noticed that when Wanda gets together with the Scotts, it always becomes something else. So in the next scene, we get Miss Tiffany. She is at the office doing her thing. And what Tiffany does is that she brings diversity to clinical research. But it looks like she invited Big Louis up to the office so they can have a little chit chat about Tiffany getting pregnant. Tiffany lets Louis know that her doctor called and it looks like they can take out her IUD. Then Louis makes a face and asks, "Is that what you brought me up here for?" And Tiffany's like, I know. When we got married, we both agreed that we didn't want children, so I am definitely the one who's flipping the script. But I just want a chance to see if we can get pregnant. Let's try for 6 months. And if we can't, then I will never bring it up again. So just give me 6 months. Now, I am totally unclear how this was a compromise. I mean, if y'all didn't want children and now you do, that doesn't mean that he does. Then Louis reminds her that both of them have very busy lives, and adding a kid to that will really complicate things. But Tiffany said, I'm not slowing down and I still want a baby. So what's up? Then I kid you not, Louis says, let's do it. If God wants us to have a baby, then we're going to have a baby. And now I'm getting the impression that Louis is the male version of Tisha. Okay, next scene. So we get a glimpse of Scott 1 and 2.0 at their houses. They are getting dressed and ready to meet with Martell and Melody for the big meeting. They show Tisha and Marsu getting in the car, and you hear Tisha say, "Here we go," like it's something she may be dreading. And then we get a shot of Kimmy and Maurice getting into their car, and Maurice says, "Looks like we're on our way to the comeback meeting." Kimmy says, "I'm sure it's about other stuff." Maurice said, "You mean ground rules, huh? On how to engage so that we're not going to fight anymore." Kimmy says, "By we, do you mean Wanda?" Then Maurice calls every name except his own. He said, "I mean Martell, Melody, Destiny, Stormy, Marsu, Wanda." If I'm not mistaken, it was Maurice's hands who went up first against Martell in defense of his brother. Then Kimmy says that people who throw shade can't take it. They'll call it a little shade, but when it comes back for him, Maurice says, it feels like the whole tree. In Tisha and Marsu's car, Tisha asks, "What are your expectations for this meeting?" Marsu says, "I don't have any." Then he says, "I don't plan to lose my cool." Tisha said that her plans are to look cute because today she's wearing heels. So if you remember the last sit-down meeting she had with Melody, and that was at the Galentine's event, she wore tennis shoes, okay? And this is important, but I'm going to tell y'all why at the end. Then Tisha told Marsu that she's not sure what even happened between Melody and her mother. In confessional, Marsu says, Tisha, you were actually there, but I guess this is a case of who you're going to believe, your own eyes or your mother, because she wouldn't lie. And Tisha said, that's right. Now, this is important too, because Tisha said to both Kimmy and to her husband, I don't care if I'm wrong. You're my family and you are supposed to support me and stand beside me no matter what. And that is exactly what Tisha does for Wanda. So that's ingrained in her. Then Tisha gives her mom a phone call and said, we are on our way to meet Melody and Martell. I just want some clarity on what happened. Wanda says, well, I went live after Melody said on Carlos's show that Tisha's baby daddy was in her DMs. Then I said, if you want to talk about baby daddies, let's talk about this last baby. Now, a normal person would have responded, Mama, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me apologize to Melody on your behalf and you stay off of social media, stay off of live, stay off of whatever, okay? But not Tisha, baby. She did not flinch. She didn't look shocked. She didn't miss a beat, okay? Instead, what she said was, but you never said the child's name or mentioned her daughter. She is literally asking questions like she is arming herself with information to take into this meeting when she has nothing to stand on. There is nothing here to defend herself or her mama with. Now, I remember Melody and Tisha saying that their oldest daughters were so close to each other that they were best friends. So even entertaining this conversation with her mother is one of the lowest things she could do as a human, seriously. Then Marsu tells Tisha to hang up the phone, which she does. And even he knows that there's no defending it. So he says, well, it is what it is. Then Tisha tells Marsu that Melody likes to play with words. Like her husband doesn't. And Marsu says, I don't care what she does. I'm accountable for me and mine. Then Melody calls Martell on her way to the meeting and they talk about their expectations. Martell said that we are divorced, but right now we're going to be a united front. You and I on behalf of our kids. Martell asked Melody what she wanted to happen, and Melody said that removing Wanda would make things much better. She also said that for her, this is a business meeting. She doesn't want to be friends and she has no desire to kiki and ha-ha. In confessional, Melody says that she hopes that Tisha is open to an honest and genuine discussion about Wanda. Then she said for Wanda to attack the most precious and vulnerable piece of herself, like her children, is uncouth and monstrous. Tisha and Marsu are the first to arrive at the dinner, which is unusual because they have a bad reputation for being late. Tisha tells Marsu that for as long as they've known each other, she has never seen him get as angry as he did when he was at the beauty store. Marsu said that that is a side that he likes to temper, but the truth is he's a dangerous man and he doesn't want to be. Then Kimmy and Maurice are the next to arrive, and Maurice says in confessional that if Marsu and Tisha got there first, Melody and Martell should probably look out. Then everyone reminisces about their first time being at this restaurant for the comeback meeting. They do a flashback scene, and then in walks Martell and Melody, shoulder to shoulder. Both Mel and Martell greet every single body at the table, okay? Greet them and hug them. Now, Marsu enjoy his hug from Mel, Tisha not so much, but Melody and Martell are sitting at the head of the table, and Martell pulls out her chair. In confessional, Maurice says it's like they're a married couple again. But as the older folks used to say, you never come between people who used to share sheets. They have a history together that you will never know, no matter how much they've told you, okay? And you would think that Maurice would want Martell and Melody to be cordial for the children, but he seems to study Melody and Martell anytime they're in the room. Not even Marsu does that. But Scout 1 and 2.0 seem a little nervous about why they were called to meet, and they start talking about elephants in the room. Then Martell takes the lead, and I have to say, I didn't even know he had it in him. But what he did at this meeting and what he did at the beauty store was the first and second time we had ever seen Martell stand up for his family in a way where he was not being a hothead. He was a clear thinker. And he made sure that he swat down anything that sounded like BS. It didn't matter if it came from the guys or the girls. But Martell tells the table that he knows what transpired and brought about this meeting. He also tells everyone that they all played a part in it, so we can break bread and discuss it like grown-ups. So then Tisha, who knows full well that her mother played a huge part in it, but I guess she feels she was provoked and had a right to stand her ground, she actually said, "Do you want to start the discussion?" And without any hesitation, Martell said, "Your mama need to go." And when I tell you that Maurice's eyes bucked open and his mouth dropped, Kimmy was in complete shock. Her mouth was open. Marsu had his head down and he just looked up just a little bit to see the, temperature in the room. And Melody started smiling, okay? From ear to ear, Martell understood the assignment and he executed it, okay? Then Martell says, "I didn't really want to jump into it like that. I know that's your mother. You love Wanda. I love Wanda. However, she has triggered most of everything." Then Tisha questioned that statement, like, "It was my mother who started it?" Martell said, "In terms of boundaries being crossed, yes, your mother started it. She's gone above and beyond, and you really cannot dictate or tell anyone how to feel about their children." Then I don't know if Tisha is pretending to be clueless or if she really doesn't see the harm that her mother has caused. But she asked Martell what happened to make him think this. Then Martell said the things that she said on her live, but he said it goes further back than that, like the things she said about our daughter's hair. Then he said that the stuff she was saying on her live, I know y'all want to say it was aimed at Melody, but the thing is, it was aimed at me as well because I know who my children are. And her saying that they don't belong to me makes it an issue for me as well. Children should always be off limits. Tisha says that I agree with you 100%. However, what did my mama say exactly that singled your baby out? Martell responds, "She said that baby wasn't mine." That's what she said. Then Tisha said, "Well, I wasn't outside with Melody and my mother when it first popped off, so I don't really know what happened, but I gave her a call before we got here, and my mom told me that she never said a child's name and that she was referencing a comment Martell made about Melody stepping out." Now, Maurice is staring a hole in Tisha, and he's shaking his head like, "Do not go down this road." But this is Tisha's ace in the hole, so she's going to say it. And she was like, "I'm just repeating what my mama told me." In confessional, Melody says that Tisha needs to stand in the truth of what she heard her mama say and get out the land of denial. Then we get a flashback of Wanda calling Melody all kinds of nasty names, saying that Martell needs to get a DNA test. Tisha basically says that her mom only says things about Mel when she is defending her or when Melody has provoked her. Melody said, "I haven't said anything about your mother." And then she asked the group to correct her if she's wrong. She even said that the baby daddy comment made on Carlos's show was in response to a different live where Wanda was calling her bitches and hoes. Then Maurice jumps in it for whatever reason, and he says, "Melody, you should have picked up the phone and called Wanda. You shouldn't have let it get to this point." Melody said, "I don't have Wanda's phone number, okay? And I don't want it. But if I had an opportunity to do this all over again, it would go down the exact same way." Then Maurice says, "Well, you're going to get the exact same results." Then Marsu said, "I agree with Mel." And it came out of his mouth so freely, so easy, that even Maurice dropped his head in disgust. And again, Tisha is left standing by herself. And it's obvious that this long-standing war that Tisha and her mama have with Melody has to do with the fact that her husband doesn't know his place. Even if he agreed with her, sometimes it's best to remain silent. In confessional, Tisha said that she has no idea why Marsu would even side with Mel, because it's obvious her mother was talking about the adults and not the children. And those were the exact words that Marsu told Martell before they got into that little scuffle. But just like that, without any warning at all, he sided with his wife's enemy. Then Marsu reminds Maurice that he had the same incident with Tiffany over Monster, and the only reason why it didn't go out of control is because Tiffany was contrite. But if Louis would have had that shot, it could have been something different. And everyone starts laughing and cracking up, and just like that, Maurice is on Marsu's side now. Tisha is truly standing by herself. Now, for all the arguing and convincing that Maurice was doing to get people to see things Tisha's way, Martell tells Maurice, "You lost your first case," which sent everyone into hysterics. Even Tisha was laughing. The only person who did not laugh, at least not as hard as everyone else, was Mel, okay? She said she wasn't doing all that kiki haha, and she did not. Then Marsu drove it home by saying that Wanda comes at everyone unprovoked. Then Kimmy said, well, she definitely came at me unprovoked. She did it all last year. And Melody was the one who told me not to come back at her. She said that's somebody's mama. Marie says that Wanda is rewarded for bad behavior. And Tisha just pulls herself out of the mix by saying she doesn't know what Wanda does on her lives because she never listens. Marsu happened to say the exact same thing. I don't listen to anyone's live. Not Wanda, not Melody, not my brother. He goes on and on and on, even though I've actually seen Marsu in the comment section of Wanda's lives. Then Martell said, well, since you mention him, you're not on Mark's live either? Kimmy said, if you guys want Tisha to be responsible for her mama, y'all need to be responsible for your brother. In confessional, Marie says that Mark makes aggressive and degrading posts, and he doesn't care if you're offended. Kimmy points out that the people who keep the mess going happens to be connected to the people in the group, and Scott 1 and 2 carries the brunt of it. She also said that no one in the group has ever gotten into a physical fight. Even Mel said that anytime they would have a disagreement, they could always come back to the table and talk. So why in the hell did Tisha show up to the Galentine's event where everyone was dressed to the nines in a pair of gym shoes? Then they all agree not to post anything else about each other and for, the respective parties to go back and talk to their family. So Tisha's going to go talk to Wanda, and then Maurice and Marsu are going to go talk to the other brother, who will be on, it looks like, next week's episode. So you guys, let me know what y'all think about this one. Go ahead, talk to me in those comments. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit your notification bell, and I will see you all on the next one.